think we'll start just by inviting Longpa to light the candles, and we'll do a preliminary homage to Buddha Dhamma Sangha.
Is there a lighter? Oh, it was next to that. Okay. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's next to the incense. Oh,
So Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Sawakato Yena Bhagavata Dhammo Supatipanno Yasa Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Dhamayang Bhagavantang Sadammang Sasanghang Imehi Sakare Yatarahang Arupitehi Abhipujayama Sadhu no Bande Bhagava Suchira Parini Bhutopi Pachima Janatanukampa Manasa Ime Sakare Dugatapana Karapute Patiganatu Amakang Ligaratang Itaya Sukaya Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Wakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Annamayang Buddhassa Bhagavato Pupapaganamakarang Garomase Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
I'll pay respects to Longpa. So, welcome everybody to our 2023 Abhayagiri Kathina celebration. It's quite amazing, quite wonderful to see everybody here. I'm kind of at a loss for words, so in a moment I'll have to just pass it over to Longpa to say something, but I just want to welcome Tanajan Amaro, the abbot of Amaravati Monastery, as esteemed guest and the original monastic incumbent here at Abhayagiri, June 1st, 1996, is that? That's correct. June 1st, 1996. And then also Ajahn Sudanto, who, as many of you know, has done an immense amount of helping out and work here at Abhayagiri as well, the current abbot of Pacific Hermitage. And so just want to welcome both of them at this period of time. I'm very, very happy to have them with us. But yeah, I just welcome everybody, and it's just great to see such a big turnout for this 2023 Kathina. It's pretty amazing. And also just seeing everybody work together. And one of my favorite things as a monk is actually seeing people come together in harmony. So, and seeing people networking and meeting with each other, and just to be someone who can at least a little bit facilitate that is quite gratifying. So Anumodana, sadhu, for coming out today. And before we get on with the ceremonies and the taking of precepts, I just wanted to pass it over to Longpa Pasano to say a few words of welcome.
Okay, welcome everyone. I said a few words before the meal, but now this is the real deal. Having come together on this occasion, and just that sense of drawing close to the triple gem. The sangha is a vehicle for as a continuity for connecting with the triple gem of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And say in a few minutes, people will be taking refuges and precepts, and it's these are important foundations for being able to tune into and establish oneself in something that is a refuge. I mean, Sangha is considered one of the refuges, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And so that to be able to have a refuge and draw close to refuge, and that's on days like this is an occasion for formally doing that, but it's as an expression of faith and an expression of commitment to something that actually creates a refuge in the heart for living a human existence in the world, is just so necessary, so important. Even in the Buddha's time, the world was confusing and chaotic and not satisfactory at all. I think it's got better. I think it's still confusing and chaotic, and the world is not much of a refuge. But when you rely on the principles, and the virtue and integrity of precepts, the commitment to the principles of truth, and a commitment to awakening, to living a life not asleep, is really it's wonderful to see that. So today is a great day for celebration and delight in everyone's presence, and so that I think we can continue and just also like to thank all the people who did all. This takes a lot of work. Yesterday, people started showing up here on Friday and helping to organize and get things set up. And yesterday was a full day, and you have these wonderful, all of the cloth offerings are all neatly wrapped, and you could just dump them in a pile, and but it's not beautiful. And to make something beautiful kind of amplifies the care that you take in doing something. So that's taking care in the effort that people made into preparing the site and setting up things, setting up tables, setting up flags, setting up flowers, doing all the wrapping of the cloth. There's lots of people were here and helping out. I don't know how many people were at Casa Serena last night. I mean, 20 maybe. Yeah. So yeah, Casa Serena was a big slumber party. So and then today people helping out and bringing offerings of food, and then setting up the food, and then cleaning up the kitchen. And I noticed those are really long. There's a lot of people, and everybody ate, and dishes are done. Kitchen's cleaned up. It's astounding. It's really sadhu, 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 and that's just everybody willing to help. It really is heartening and delightful to see. So we can continue with the actual ceremony of the formal taking of refuges and precepts, but just to encourage people to hold that in mind, that you want to be giving yourself that opportunity to really live with something that is a refuge in the heart and in one's life, and have a foundation of one's integrity and skillful ways of living.
Please, everybody bow 3 times. Namo tassa. Mayang Pante Visung Lakkhana Thaya Ti Saranena Saha Pancha Sila Niyajama Tutiyampi Mayang Pante Visung Lakkhana Thaya Ti Saranena Saha Pancha Sila Niyajama Tatiyampi Mayang Pante Visung Lakkhana Thaya Ti Saranena Saha Pancha Sila Niyajam.
Okay, so just determined to establish these refuges and precepts, and I'll do it all. It's such a diverse group today. I'll do it all in Pali. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Ti sarana kamanang nititang. Anatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kame sumichachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sura meraya majapama dathana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani silena sukating yanti silena bhoga sambada silena nibbutiং yanti tasma silang visodaye.
Could pass the mic to Tony, who's maybe sitting next to you. Tony? You and I.
วิปติปฏิภาหายะสัพพะสัมปติสิทธิยาสัพพะทุกขวินาศายะปริตังพรูทมังคลังวิปติปฏิภาหายะสัพพะสัมปติสิทธิยาสัพพะพยวินาศายะปริตังพรูทมังคลังวิปติปฏิภาหายะสัพพะสัมปติสิทธิยาสัพพะโรคะวินาศายะปริตังพรูทมังคลัง
I'll just explain briefly. That chant is just a request for the Paritta chanting, which is verses of blessing, verses of protection for the ending of dukkha, fear, and all illness is what that request encapsulates. And so I'll invite Tenajan Amaro to call the devas, call the forces of goodness to come bear witness.
Paritavana metang sameta badanda avikita cita paritang banando sage kame charupe girisi karatate chandalike vihimane Diperate chagame tarvana gahane gehawa tumikete Bhumma jayando deva jalatala visame yakaganda banaga Titanda sandikayang munivaravachanang sadhavo me sunando. Buddha dasana kalo ayang badanda. Dhamma savana kalo ayang badanda. Sangha pairupasana kalo ayang badanda.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Dhammāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Dhammāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Ochakumma mohamalapakato samang wabuddho sugato vimutto marasapasa vinimochayanto papesike mang janatang vinayang Buddhaṃ varantang sirasa namami lokasa Vinayakam chatante jasate jayasidi hotu sabandharaya Chavinasamintu Dhammo dajoyo viyatasa satuda sesiloka savisurimagang niyani kodamadarasa satavaho santikaro suchinno Dhammang varantang sirasa namami mohapadalang upasanta dahang tante jasate jayasidi hotu sabantaraya Chavinasamintu sadamasena sugata nugoyo lokasa papua pakilesa ceta santo sayang santiniyo jako chasowakata dhammang viditang karoti sangang varantang sirasa namami buddha samasila diting tante jasate jayasidi hotu sabantaraya Chavinasamintu namo arahato samma sambuddhassa mahesino namo Uttamadhamma sasawakata sevateni namo mahasangha sapi visuddha sila ditino namo omataya radha saratanataya sasadukang namo omakatita satasawatutaya sapinamo karapabhave naviga chantu upadawa namo kara nubhave nasuwati hotu sabada namo kara sate jena vidimi homi Te Java Sevana Chapalanang Panditanang Cha Sevana Puja Janiyanang Etamangalamutamang Patiru Pare Sawaso Chapupe Chakata Punyata Atasamma Panidi Chaetamangalamutamang Bahusa Chanchasi Panchavinayo Chasusikito Supasita Chaya Vacha Etamangalamuttama Mata Pitu Upatanang Puttadarasa Sangaho Anakula Chakamanta Etamangalamutamang Dananjaram Acharya Chanyatakanan Chasangaho Anawachanikam Nietamangalamuttamang Arati Virati Papa Chasanyamo Apamado Chatame Suetamangalamuttamangarawo Chaniwato Chasantuti Chakatanyuta Kalena Dhamma Savanang Etamangalamutamang Kante Chaso Vacha Sata Samanananjarasanang Kalena Dhammasakacha Etamangalamutamang Tapocha Brahmacharyancha Ariyasa Chanadasanang Nibbana Sacha Kiriya Chaetamangalamutamang Puddhasalokadame Ichitang Yasanakam Patiyasokang Virajang Kemang Tamangalamutamang etadisanikatawan sabha tama parajita patasotinga chantitantesa mangalamutamanti metanja sabaloka saming manasambhavaye aparimanang udangado chatiriyancha asambadang averang asapatang titan charang nisino va sayano va yavata samigatamido etang sating ariteya brahma metang viharang idamahuditin cha anupagama silava dasanena sampano kame suvenaya gedang nahi jatuka paseyang punareti tiyang kinchivetang idawahurang wa sage suwayang ratanang panitang nano samang atitatatgatena idam pibuthe ratanang panitang Sachena suwati hotu kayang viragang tang panitang jaga sakya muni samahito natena dhammena samati kinchi idam bidamme ratanang panitang etena sachena suwati hotu yam buddhaseto pariwa nai suching samadhi manandarikan yama Tina tena samona vijati idam bidam me ratanang panitang etena sachena suwati hotu ye pugala atasatang pasata chatariyetani yuga neonti deda kineya sugata sasavaka ete sudinani mahapalani idam mizange ratanang panitang etena sachena suwati otu yesu payuta manasa dalhena nikamino Kotamasasana mite patipata amatang vigaya lada mudani buting bunchamana idam pisange ratanang panitang etena sachena suwati hotu kinang puranang nawang nati sambhavang virata citta yatike bhavasming te kina bija avirul hichanda nibandidira yatayam paripo idam pisange ratanang panitang Sachena suwati hotu dukapata chani dukapayapata chani paya sokapata chani soka hondu sape pipanino etawata cham hehi sambatang punya samparang sabe deva numodandu sabha sampati siddhiya danang darandu sathaya silang rakantu sabada bhavana birata hontu gachantu devata gata sabe buddha balapata pachekanan chayang balang arahantanan chate jena rakang bandang misabaso mahakaruniko nato itaya sabapanina purito va parami sabapato sambori mutamang etena sachawa jena hotu te jaya mangalang jayanto bodhiya mule sakyanang nandivadano ewang tawang vijayo o hijaya sujaya mangale Jita palang kesi se patavi pokare abhiseke sababudana agapato pamo dati sunakatang sumangalang supapatang suhutitang sukano sumuhuto chasuyetang brahmachari supadakinang kaya kamang wacha kamang padakinang mano kamang panidite padakina padakinani katawana labantate padakine. That's a very proper, very appropriate beginning to a Kathina ceremony, purifying our sila by taking refuges and precepts, and then calling in the forces of goodness, although one gets the sense they're already here, but we do follow this tradition anyway. And just to say, before we begin the ceremony proper, that as many of you know, this was the completion of Longpo Pasano's 50th Vassa, 50th Rains Retreat as a bhikkhu. And so if you haven't seen it already, there's a special commemoration for this with these aditana sheets where you can actually, it's recognizing that even though the offering of material gifts is good and praiseworthy and leading to heaven, the offering of one's practice is even higher than that. And so that for anybody who felt moved or like they wanted to, they could actually make an aditana to dedicate on the event of this completion of Longpo's 50 Vassas as a bhikkhu, as a practice monk. And so that was a very good idea, very wholesome. I wasn't the one who thought of it. But that was a very good idea who came up with that. And just to say, I'm going to read the history of the Kathina, and then there will be the formal sangatan, the formal offering of Kathina cloth, which will be a call and repeat type offering in 3 languages, Pali, Thai, and English. And then once that's done, then the receiver, the 2 official Kathina receiver monks will then be called up to ascend the seats, and then that's when the cloth could be offered. So I'll cue everybody on that. So without further ado, I would like to read the history of the Kathina. Cool, God. Before the Kathina ceremony begins, we would like to take this opportunity to explain a little about its origins as a Buddhist custom. The offering of Kathina cloth by the laity to the bhikkhu sangha is a tradition which has been carried on since the time of the Lord Buddha more than 2,500 years ago. It was established as a ceremonial act to celebrate both the relationship between the laity and the sangha and the spirit of concord within the sangha itself. It was first allowed by the Lord Buddha to a group of 30 monks who were observers of many of the austere practices. They had wished to spend the 3 months rains retreat with him, but having been unable to reach the monastery where he was staying in time, had to spend rains nearby. They regretted their missed opportunity, thinking, "The Lord is staying close to us, but we are not getting a chance to see him." Nevertheless, they passed the 3 months harmoniously together, and as soon as they could, despite inhospitable roads and continuing rain, with drenched robes and in a state of weariness, they made their way to Savatthi to see him. Perhaps by way of encouragement and to reward their noble efforts, it was after receiving them that the Kathina ceremony and its privileges were established by the Buddha. The Lord Buddha laid down many stipulations in order to make the offering of this cloth and the sewing of it into a robe an act of great importance to both the laity and the sangha. It is an offering that can be made only once a year at any one monastery, and only where 5 or more bhikkhus have spent the rains retreat together. The cloth must be clean, freely given, and its donation must not have been instigated by the monastic community in any way. Once it has been offered to the bhikkhu sangha, it must be cut and sewn into a completely finished robe during the course of that same day. Customarily, all the bhikkhus of that monastery participate in the sewing of the robe. In this way, it becomes an act affirming the harmonious and communal nature of the sangha. Once it has been sewn, it is then offered to one bhikkhu decided upon by the sangha as being worthy of the gift. For the laity, the Kathina offering is a symbolic expression of their faith in the sangha and a reaffirmation of their eagerness to cooperate harmoniously together in order to provide for its material needs. According to the Lord Buddha, the Kathina cloth is the most meritorious of all material gifts that can be made to a sangha, bringing superlative benefits to those who have offered it. The sangha and the laity are now all assembled. If there is to be a Kathina ceremony, then this is now the time for it to begin. And so this would, we could hand the mic to Tongchai, and then this particular offering is going to be a call and repeat. So there's lines or commas everywhere where there's a pause. So Tongchai is going to read a line, and then everybody would repeat after him as far as the offering. And you can start with the Namo Tassa 3 times.
ต่อไปเป็นคำถวายผ้ากฐินพร้อมกันนะครับก่อนอื่นขอตั้งนะโมพร้อมกัน3จบก่อนแล้วก็ว่าตามกับผมนะฮะ
And if the Sangha could all have their hands in Anjali during this, thank you.
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะอิมังพันเตสปาริวารังกัตถินะจีวะระสุตถังภิกขุสังคัสสะโอโนชยามะสาธุโนพันเตภิกขุสังโฆอิมังสปาริวารังกัตถินะจิวะระพุทธุสังปฏิคันหาตุปฏิฆะเหตวา อิมินาทุสาเสกะทินังอัตถรตุอัมหากันเจวะมาตาปิตุอาทินันจายาตกานังทีฆรัตตังหิตายะสุขายะข้าแต่พระสงฆ์ผู้เจริญข้าพเจ้าทั้งหลายขอน้อมถวายผ้ากฐินจีวรกับทั้งบริวารทั้งหลายเหล่านี้แด่พระภิกษุสงฆ์ขอพระภิกษุสงฆ์จงรับผ้ากฐินจีวรกับทั้งบริวารทั้งหลายเหล่านี้ของข้าพเจ้าทั้งหลายครั้นรับแล้วขอจงกรานกฐินด้วยผ้านี้เพื่อประโยชน์และความสุขแก่ข้าพเจ้าทั้งหลายและญาติทั้งหลายมีมารดาบิดามารดาเป็นต้นสิ้นกาลและนานเทิน
And in English also.
We have all gathered here today to offer Kathina cloth and other requisites to the sangha. We request that the sangha receive these offerings of Kathina cloth and other requisites for our long-lasting benefit and happiness. We wish to dedicate the well-being coming from our offerings to our relatives and friends, and particularly to our parents. May all beings be happy.
Sadhu. Okay, and I'll invite the recipient monks to, on behalf of the sangha, to ascend their seats. And once they ascend their seats and pay respects to Long Pa, then the cloths could be offered one by one. Okay, and we'll invite people to take their cloths and then line up in the center. And maybe if Liam, probably those first ones, if those are lifted first, then they can be moved to the side, and then there will be room for everybody else to offer as well. And then it can be set to the side, and every cloth can then be set on this, anywhere on this center part on display. Okay, and we'll invite everybody. Everybody can, without further ado, can come to the center with your cloths, and just those, they can all be offered at this time. Yeah, don't take it away. Just leave it on the center thing. We can make a pile.
Well, they hadn't offered it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that stays there.
Yeah, we can just leave that there. Whatever's there, we don't need to pay attention to it. All we need to do is whatever gets given to them can be put in empty places. Yeah, just keep your hands on the silver thing. Keep your hands on this. Yeah, there you go. And moving forward, there is a lot of cloths to offer, so to pay respects afterwards, maybe move to the side. You can move a little bit to the side first, and then pay respects. That'll speed up the process a little bit.
They're not passing it to the other side.
Chitta Paulo, if you could take some of them also, so he isn't doing all the work.
Anybody's gonna listen to you, bro.
I don't think so. It's okay. It's okay.
You're here a long time. Wow, it's a long line.
One of the reasons this is such a held to be such a great offering, such a meritorious offering, is that it's impersonal. So the Buddha actually saying that offering to the sangha is actually more beneficial than offering to the Buddha himself. So because it's impersonal. It's not just focusing on one individual. So it's actually quite an amazing thing.
Got silver robe on. Good. Maybe they could read a one vowel. The lines don't.
It's okay.
Kumpar Amaro is the same at Amaravati with a big. Amaravati is a huge allotment of cloth received on Kathina.
It's more limited than this.
Oh, okay.
This is more out of control.
It's a royal Kathina. So it has
All right.
offerings that the individuals have to match with it being offered by the king of Thailand. Yeah, so you have to tread carefully in terms of protocol. This is much simpler in many ways. Do it your own way as you like.
Did that start when you got your Japanese title, or was it always?
Oh no, it's been royal Kathina with long time. Once you receive a royal Kathina, then that has to be a royal Kathina every year.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, of course, there are varying opinions about how you work with them.
Yeah.
No, it's been excellent about 2004.
line's still there.
All right, we're getting there. Yes. I wasn't expecting this big of a turnout.
That's unusual.
So once this offering is complete, then the recipient monks will have a special announcement that they make, and after that is the Kathina Anumodana. This is quite a large stream of offerings. It looks like, I think I can see the end of it now. And apologies ahead of time if your name doesn't get recited at the formal announcement. There's definitely more cloths being offered than there are names that we're in possession of. But, so it's Kathina Samaki. Everybody is included.
Here, perfect. Just pull the flower out. There you go. Sadhu. All right, John.
Almost got lost.
It's over. 3 more.
All right, that's pretty epic. Pretty epic Kathina offering. Potayang, right? Epic. Nah, it's a Chan. Remember to turn the mic on. And when you do the namo, it can be between you, and then you just turn it towards you when you're and pull it towards you a bit when you're doing your announcement. So if the sangha could have their hands in Anjali, and we're going to do the formal Kathina reception now. So it's not over yet. But okay.
Namo tassa bhagavato
sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Gotta go closer.
Just pull it towards you. Don't be shy. Take the center piece out. That's good.
This Kathina cloth and all the offerings present here belong to Frederick and Ong Sok Lee, Pukka Pong Chon Sawat and William Swales, Huey, Liam and friends, Laksana Chuang Pia, Mr. Sanan Wanjit and family, Mimi and Tom Wee Jitsi Pon Kun, Kwan Ruan Malai Tong, Tram and Lin Bui, Wipari Suk Jalern Sup and Tirachat Sung Suradet, Chalida, Andrew and Alicia Lee, Apra and Jeep Money Rut with Pong Sawan Jung Drakun, the Dharma Realm Buddhist Association, and all the faithful and generous lay people who have gathered together for this occasion. This offering is being made to the sangha, which has spent the 3-month range retreat in this monastery. This Kathina cloth has come in a pure and unsolicited way, as if it had been wafted here in a breeze and settled in the midst of this assembly without favoring anyone in particular. However, the Lord Buddha has made a provision whereby the sangha can agree to choose which among them they would like to receive the cloth. This person must be one who knows the rules and observances concerning the Kathina ceremony, according to the terms laid down by the Lord Buddha, and must be able to recite the aims and purposes of the Lord Buddha's teachings. They should be pure in moral conduct and have the mindfulness and wisdom to be able to understand the Dhamma in all its facets. This, then, is one who can fulfill all of the Lord Buddha's stipulations concerning the offering of the Kathina. So the assembly of bhikkhus must come to a unanimous decision as to which of them is best suited to receive the Kathina cloth.
This Kathina cloth and all these offerings have been considered suitable for Pasano bhikkhu. He is a bhikkhu of mindfulness and wisdom and can perform the Kathina ceremony correctly according to the way established by the Lord Buddha. If any bhikkhu here disagrees, he should raise his objections now in the midst of this assembly. If everyone agrees, then they should express their agreement by saying sadhu in unison.
Sadhu. At this point, we're going to ask Longpa to give the special Kathina Anumodana blessing chant. Nimon Kat Longpa.
Okay, so we'll do the traditional chant as the Anumodana, and Anumodana literally means to delight in the goodness that's been done. So that's something that the sangha certainly wishes to express our delight in all the goodness that came together today to make this such a special occasion, and with so many people coming together in harmony. So we'll offer the Anumodana. Yattha varivaha pula palipolenti sakarang evameva eto tiknang petanang upakapate Ecetang matitang tumhang kipameva samichato sape porendu sangapa janto panaraso yadha mani chotiraso yatha Sabarogo vinasatu Mate bhavat vandarayo sukidikayuko bhava Abhivadana silisa nichang utapachayino Chataro dhamma vadante ayuvano sukham Balang kale dadandi sapanya vadanyu vetamachara Kale nadinang ariyesu ujubutesu tadesu Vipasana manatasa vipola hondi dakina Yetata hanumodandi vaya vachangarondiva Natena dakina hona tepi punya sabakino Tasmadante apati vana jito yata dinang mahapalang Punyani paralokasaming patita hondi paninandi Bhavatu sapamangalang Rakantu samadevana Sama buddhanubhavena sada sote bhavantu te Bhavatu sapamangalang rakantu sapadevana Sama dhammanubhavena sada sote bhavantu te Bhavatu sapamangalang rakantu sapadevana Sabba sangha nubhavena saraswati bhavantu te.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, everybody. And it's not quite over yet. There is a commemorative tribute that somebody would like to make for this. And I think the floating mic, wherever it is in the lay people, it can be passed back to Apple. Since the cloth has been offered now, just 2 bhikkhus are going to take it away, but the rest of us can stay for the time being, just for a few more minutes. Yeah, you know, can you? Yeah. I don't know very much. This is it's a song, a poem, in commemoration of Longpa, the completion of Longpa's 50th Vassa. I don't really know much about its origins, but that's what it is, yeah. I think it can speak for itself. Yeah, it's very beautiful. Could you turn the microphone on?
Taste. ก่อนนี้พี่ตั้มแต่งถวายสักการะหลวงพ่อค่ะครบ50 พรรษาจริงๆแล้วพี่ตั้มแต่งตอนที่หลวงพ่อรับผัดยศแต่ว่าตอนนี้ก็มาต่อเติมเพิ่มไปอีก เพิ่มความงดงามเข้าไปอีกค่ะขอโอกาสหลวงพ่อค่ะเบญจางขนมประดิษฐานศิรกรานภิกษุสงฆ์ครองศีลวิธีพระพุทธองค์อริยสงฆ์ระบือนามพระคือพระราชโพธิวิเทศผู้ละกิเลสทิ้งเขตคำละเมืองแมนสู่แดนพุทธารามประพฤติงามตามศาสดาพินิจนึกตรึกตรีอริยมรรคพระไตรลักษณ์จากศึกษามุ่งมัดฉิมะปฏิปทาเป็นมัคคาศรัทธาทอวัฏจักรปฏิจจสมุปบาทธรรมชาติดับเกิดก่อพระตั้งสตินฤวิเคราะห์เห็นจำเพาะเหตุแห่งผลแรมรางห่างไกลไรมิตรไรหมู่จากบ้านเมืองอยู่เนิ่นนานผ่านปีมาก้มลงกราบสิโรราบพระมุนีเมื่ออายุ24ปลงเกษีบรรพชาพระนมกราบปนดกรคุณบิดรมารดาณวัดเพลงวิปัสสนาลูกกราบลาสู่โลกธรรมลุ50 พรรษาสิกขาบทบนมัคคาคาถาคตกำหนดว่ามั่นในศีลมุ่งสมาธิผลิปัญญาสงบภาสะอาดวางสว่างใจล่วง50 พรรษานำพาทรงให้ละปลงโลกิยวิสัยเรียนรู้สัจจะทุกข์สมุทัยนิโรธมรรคเป็นทางให้ไร้ทุกข์ทันจึงขอพรวอนเทวันในชั้นฟ้าโปรยมาลาทั้งปวงจากสวงสวรรค์เป็นเกราะแก้วคุ้มครองช่วยป้องกันตลอดเส้นทางพรหมจรรย์ประสันโน
Sadhu, sadhu.
อาจจะสื่อ
It's coming.
I won't sing it, but here's the English translation. We respectfully bow to the highly practiced monk who has diligently followed the moral path, guided by the Buddha, and who has become a great Dhamma teacher himself. He is Pra-Raja Bodhivitet, who left his home country to search for a better life path in the Buddhist world. He who explored the Four Noble Truths, studied the laws of nature, and experimented on the middle path. He who examined dependent origination, the cycle of human suffering. He bid farewell to his home, family, and friends, and traveled to study the Buddha's Dhamma. At the age of 24, he became a fully ordained monk at Wat Plang Vipassana. Now it has been 50 years of monkhood, of following principles, practicing meditation, and cultivating wisdom. It has been 50 years of teaching monastics and lay people how to ease life suffering through the noble path. To mark these 50 years of his monkhood, we request the devas to shower heavenly flowers upon this venerable one, to provide sacred protection for all time on this holy path.
Sadhu. Okay.
What do you say after that?
Job. I think we will bow to the shrine and take a 15-minute break before the Dhamma talks can begin. But this sewn, this red and gold and also white, but the red and gold actually came from India, so it has special significance in terms of being connected with India. So this has been cut into bracelet lengths, and we're going to move those trays of sewn to the front of the room right there where everybody was giving the offerings, so that anybody can help themselves now that it's been suitably charged up during our ceremony as a Riluktung, as a commemorative token of our appreciation of all of you. So we could, at this point, we can bow to the shrine and take a break.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. It's very lovely to be here on this very auspicious occasion of the Kathina Festival 2023 of Abhayagiri Buddhist Monastery. In the Thai calendar, this is 2566. In the Sri Lankan calendar, it's 2567. But it's today. It's today. So I was very touched by listening to the verses of praise of Luangpo Pasanno, acknowledging his 50 years as a bhikkhu, and the Thai version very beautifully recited by Apple, and the English version read by Debbie, very lovely to hear. And I don't know if you could pick up Luangpo Pasanno's own comment after that. He said, "Well, what do you say after that?" My own comment was, "Here's to the next 50 years." But I think his difficulty in hearing was employed at that point. So one of the qualities of the Buddha that he encouraged people to reflect upon, we are familiar with the reflections on the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha, the triple gem, Buddhanusati, Dhammanusati, Sanghanusati, reflections on death, Marananusati. But one of these anusatis, these sets of recollections that the Buddha encouraged, was Chaganusati. And people are often unfamiliar with this. So Chaga means generosity, it means giving, and so it's a way of recognizing and reflecting upon your own goodness, your own generosity, your own kindness. And so sometimes, particularly in the West, to think positively about your own good qualities is taken as being proud or inflated, or you think of yourself being conceited. But I feel it's very significant that the Lord Buddha encouraged us to, rather than to put down our own good qualities or to ignore them, he encourages those to be reflected upon, to consider your own generosity. And so particularly in the West, where we can easily move towards being self-critical, feeling we're not good enough, we're not clever enough, we're not kind enough, we're not generous enough, we're not competent enough. Our society makes that kind of feeling, that kind of judgment, very, very prominent. I feel this quality of Chaganusati, reflecting on your own goodness, your own generosity, your own wholesome qualities, is something extremely important. And a simple way to develop this is, if it was somebody else, if it was your friend who had done the many good things that you have done, you would be full of praise. You say, "Oh, I'm so glad you did this, and that's so wonderful, that's so inspiring, this is great, I'm so impressed." But because it's you that did them, you think, "Oh, I shouldn't tell anyone. I feel, I don't want to I don't want to be inflated. I don't want to puff myself up." But why did the Lord Buddha encourage us to reflect upon our own goodness? Why did he encourage that, to say, rejoice in the good that has been done? It just happened to be you that did it. So in a way, it's recognizing the brightness of your own heart, the punya that has been created through the activity of your life, your words, your actions, your attitudes. And so rejoicing in the good that has been done, just as Luangpo was describing the meaning of the word anumotana, that means I delight, I rejoice in the good that has been done. So Chaganusati is rejoicing in the good that you have done. And we don't have to make that into an ego trip, we don't have to get inflated about that, but just to look at your own life, your own actions, your own words, and to let that glow of the heart be fully conscious. Yeah, I'm really glad I did that. Yes, this is very pleasing, this is brightening, and as the Buddha said about punya, the what we call the blessings or the highest blessings. He said, don't belittle punya. Don't look at that. Look down upon that as something inferior or insignificant. Don't say brush the quality of boon aside. Don't belittle punya. Punya is another word for happiness. So I feel this is a really, an ideal opportunity on the Kathina Day. There's so much generosity. When I asked Ajahn Yaniko this morning, so how many people are offering robes today? And he said, oh, I think more than 20. He was right. Thank you for laughing at my jokes. I appreciate you laughing at my jokes. This is good. Good job. Good job. But this is an abundance of offerings, and so this is a very good opportunity to rejoice in the good that you have done. Many of you have come here many times and helped the monastery in various ways for this festival, also in past years. Some people over many years, and some people were very instrumental in helping this place to get started 27 years ago, 1996, when we first rolled up here with our bright green Honda Civic, and myself and Ajahn Visuddhi and the one-day-old Anagarika Tom, who is now Ajahn Karuna Dhammo. So he took the 8 precepts on Visakha Puja May 31st, and we moved onto this property June the 1st. So he was a one-day-old Anagarika. And this place has got wonderful workshops and great amenities now, but the entirety of our toolkit to build the monastery was 1 hammer and 1 Swiss Army knife. That was the entirety of our workshop to build this place. So I rejoice in the good that has been done over these many years by many hands. And those of you who've been involved in various ways, just with this place, this is an opportunity to reflect on that and to let that glow of the heart really be felt. Like, yes, I'm really pleased, really happy, really joyful to have been involved. And not just around Abhayagiri Monastery, but in your own homes, the effort that you've made to bring up your children, the efforts that you have made to be honest in the workplace, to be doing your jobs skillfully, just to treat the other members of the traffic on the road in a civil and kind and polite way, to make way for other people when they want to come onto the lane in front of you, just to let even small gestures, small acts of kindness like that, to be recognized. So, yeah, I'm really glad that I'm polite on the road. I make way for others. I don't have to push myself. Yes, that's a beautiful thing. That's a delightful quality in the world. So I feel on this occasion of the Kathina that I thoroughly encourage the development Caganusati. If you want to know how it's spelt, look it up in the dictionary. Caganusati, Caganusati. The recollecting your own goodness. And so obviously the Buddha's teaching encourages us not to be egotistical or inflated, to let go of self-view, but what we're doing with Caganusati is rejoicing, just as Luang Por was saying earlier today, just rejoicing in the capacity to bring goodness into the world. Yes, what a wonderful thing. There's so much conflict and difficulty and confusion, chaos in the world. What a wonderful thing that our words, our actions, and our attitudes can help to lessen the chaos, lessen the confusion, lessen the conflict, to diminish that, and to increase the qualities of harmony. What a wonderful thing! How marvelous! Well, when we consider the state of the world, quote unquote, and many of us spend quite a bit of time looking at the news. newspapers or online or in different media that through television and the different media that are available these days, and the world can seem indeed a very chaotic and conflicted place, and we can feel quite powerless in the face of that. But the Lord Buddha's teaching is one of taking action. It's a teaching of effort. It's a teaching of involvement, of engagement. And so, that, as the Buddha points out, that the things that we do, the choices that we make, they make a difference. We're not victims of a fate, a kind of predestined fate in our lives. His teaching revolves around the fact we can make choices, and the choices make a difference. And so, in our lives, keeping the precepts, being generous, working in livelihoods that help to bring understanding, that bring harmony, that bring benefit into the world, encouraging the sort of skillful use of resources and helping the well-being of the planet. These actions and these ways of operating, of working, they do make a difference. They are significant in our own lives and in the world around us. But also, the Lord Buddha understood that we can only do so much. That we are not, as individuals, in complete control of our lives. We can't just decide, as Luang Por Chah would say over and over again. You can't decide I won't get old. You can't decide I'll never get sick. You can try, but it won't work. And so we do have a capacity to make choices, and those choices do make a difference. But our lives are part of a natural order. They are part of the law, subject to the laws of nature. They are Dhamma niyamata. Our lives follow the laws of nature. And so we have a degree of control or involvement, a certain amount that we can change in our lives, and other things that we can't change. Like this weekend, the weather's been absolutely perfect, so thank you to all the weather deities. But so easily, and I think Luang Por was talking about the weather in England. Yeah. Our Kathina is on November the 26th, end of this month, so it's very likely to be sort of grey and cold and wet. That's what England is like in November, very regularly. So it's very nice when the weather is good, but we can't control the weather. And if the weather at Amaravati on our Kathina day is wet and cold and windy and grey, then that's what we work with. So one of the great wonders and powers of the Buddha's teaching is that we do, make skillful choices where we can, but then also when we meet with aspects of life that we can't control, like the choices of politicians or what the weather is doing, the activity of the other cars on the road, the different people that we work with in the hospital or the school or the office, or the way other people are in our family. Certain things are out of our control, but what we can do is we can control our attitude. And so I often emphasize, and those of you who've heard me giving talks before or listened to online teachings of mine online or in recordings, know that I tend to hammer away at this point, that attitude is the linchpin, is like the centerpiece of Dhamma practice, because as we get older, or as we live in the world, we're subject to illnesses, more and more limitation. Our hearing goes, our vision goes, our mobility goes, but the attitude that we have, the tasanakati in the Thai language, that is under the control of the citta. So that's where liberation can be found. Even the Lord Buddha himself, when he was old, he had chronic back pain. Many people don't recognize this, but the beginning of the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the discourse about the Buddha's last days, he says, "My body is like an old cart held together with straps and strings. Unless I absorb my mind into emptiness, then I'm experiencing physical pain, like an old car that's falling apart, held together with duct tape and bits of tarpaulin. And duct tape is very important in this country. It holds a lot of things together very effectively. But the Buddha says that's what his body is like, an old vehicle held together with duct tape. It's kind of still keeps going, but it's really clunky. And this is the Lord Buddha, our great teacher, saying, the only way I can experience comfort is to completely absorb the mind into emptiness, like to let go of any attention to the sensory field. That's the only way he could be comfortable. There's numerous times where he's giving a Dhamma talk and he would say, the assembly is wide awake, my back is paining me, I'm going to go and lie down and stretch my back. And then he would say, Nyaniko, the assembly is wide awake, please get up and carry on giving a talk. Or Sariputta or Mahakachana, he'd say, the assembly is wide awake, Kachana, I'm going to go and stretch my back, please carry on giving a teaching. So this is the Lord Buddha. So not only did he have physical pain, but he was ready to take action to deal with it. So that I feel that the effect that we can have in our attitude towards things means we learn to let go. We learn to not get identified or entangled in feelings of say, physical pain. But letting go or non-attachment doesn't mean to say that we don't take action. Sometimes when people are ill, they have injuries, they say, oh, I'm practicing non-attachment, I'm not going to go to the doctor. Like, I would say, well, that's not exactly the way non-attachment works. It's like, non-attachment would be not letting your mind get upset, get stressed and worried, but still going to the doctor to see what can be done to alleviate the condition. Just like the Lord Buddha, he did not create suffering in his own citta about his own physical pain, but he still said, Mahakachana, please get up and carry on giving a teaching because I need to stretch my back. So I feel that when we are talking about the development of wisdom and the use of vipassana, insight meditation to cultivate wisdom, this is principally aimed at working to change our attitude, to use that ability we have to change our attitude so that when something is pleasant and delightful, we don't get drunk on it, we don't get carried away. Oh, this is so great, this is fantastic, and getting over enthusiastic and carried away by success or praise or something pleasant. Too much delicious food. Maybe some of you experienced that today with great ocean of wonderful, delicious offerings. Like, oh dear, I think I had too much. I'm not reading anybody's mind. If you're thinking, how did he know? Was he watching? It's like, it's not psychic power, it's just statistics. It's just it's very likely on a wonderful day like today. So that if we wish to develop wisdom, if we wish to live more wisely, then learning to change our attitude. So if things are really pleasant, to not get carried away and get drunk on that. If things are painful and difficult, again, not to get caught into aversion and resentment, or why me, this isn't fair, when's this painful feeling going to be over, when can I get away from this awful person, when can I get out of this job, when can I leave home, when can I get back home, that reactive and stressful way the mind can relate to painful experiences. Instead, we are we recognize we're able to work on our attitude. So whether things are painful or pleasant or neutral, there's an evenness, there's a kind of levelness, an upekkha, an equanimity, a serenity in our heart towards the pleasant, the painful, and the neutral. So when we really work on our attitude, then nothing can go wrong in life. So if the attitude is skillful, then rather than trying to grab hold of the pleasant and push away the painful, as our great teacher Luang Por Chah would say, my chop, tao tao gan. Liking and disliking, they are of equal value. Just because you like something, it doesn't mean it's intrinsically good. Just because you dislike something, it doesn't mean it's intrinsically bad. It just means like and dislike, that's all. And instead of investing in trying to own and keep the pleasant and push away and get rid of the painful, instead, what Luang Por Chah would encourage us to do is to learn from whatever we experience. What is this teaching me? And as he said many times, everything will teach us if we let it. So again, to quote Luang Por Chah's teaching, so what is the most effective means of, say, attitude adjustment? How can we change our attitude of trying to chase after the pleasant and get away from the painful? How do we, say, get a perspective on our judgments of like and dislike? And the key attitude adjuster, I would say, if you can use that term, is to develop the insight into anicca, into that say aspect of nature which is that everything is in a state of change. Now, one of the things that when we translate anicca, it literally means not permanent. And so often when you see a Buddhist text or a Buddhist dictionary, what does anicca mean? It means impermanent or unstable or transient. But, and Luang Por Pasando might correct me, please do. But more often than not, when Luang Por Chah talked about anicca, the quality of anicca, he talked about it not so much in terms of the changing nature of the object, but how that impacted the heart, the feeling of meeting the state, the activity of change. So when the heart meets change and things in a state of fluidity, transiency, what is the experience in the heart? Not sure. You don't know what it's going to change into. Is it going to get better? Is it going to get worse? What's going to happen? Don't know. So more often than not, when Luang Por Chah encouraged that investigation of anicca, he would speak of it in terms of that subjective feeling, the feeling in your heart of not knowing. Mainea, it's not a sure thing. And this is, if we want to help our attitude to adjust, to be learning from life and not be limited or burdened or stressed by life, the more that we can cultivate what they call the anicca sanya, the perception of uncertainty, then the more that we will find the world is a very big place and we are at ease and at home in our own life, in our own body, in the world, in the workplace, in the family. Even if you have painful illnesses, or you've just got fired from your job, or you just lost your home, or whatever difficulties might present themselves, or great blessings, great benefits appear, you are able to be at ease and at home. You don't get drunk on the pleasant things, and you don't get fearful and aversive, negative with the painful things. So, and this is an extraordinarily simple practice. So but it takes a lot of mindfulness. So whenever your mind makes a judgment, this is beautiful, that's ugly. You say to yourself, is that a sure thing? This is delicious. You say, is that a sure thing? Jingla, neanon mai. Is that true? Is that a sure thing? You say, well, and when you had your first mouthful of that particular dish, you say, oh, this is great. This is delicious. If you had a bit too much and you're already feeling, I think I've eaten too much and I've got a reaction here, then the same food on your plate that was really attractive and delicious 5 minutes ago, now you look at it and you go, ooh. So is it still delicious? Where is the deliciousness? It was always in the mind. So it's a challenge. It's a very simple practice, but it's very challenging. And if we apply it, if you say make a resolution in the morning, like morning meditation time, say, okay, during today, I will notice every time the mind makes a judgment. This is beautiful, this is ugly, this is delicious, this is disgusting, this is long, this is short, I approve, I don't approve, every kind of judgment. And if you do this as a practice, it's really amazing how many judgments we make during the day. This is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong, I approve, I don't approve, that's good, that's awful. It's it's shocking. Many years ago, I listening to this teaching, I thought, okay, I think I'll count. I think I'll do some statistics on this. I'll keep a count. And it was like something like 500 or 600, just in an average day in a monastery when, quote unquote, nothing much happens. It's like, wow, that's extraordinary. 500, 600, 700 judgments in the course of a day. But if you meet each one of those with the question, is that a sure thing? Is that so? Then what happens is that we bring to life the wisdom faculty of the heart. Because when you say, is that so? Well, that's beautiful. Is that so? Then there's the wisdom of the citta that recognizes it's not a sure thing. That's just one perspective. That's the mind's impression in this moment, but it can't be the whole story. Aha! And the result of that, bringing up that question, is that so? Is that a sure thing? Is that? Then there's a change of heart. There's a spaciousness in the citta, and the mind is not so, entangled. It doesn't grasp that liking or disliking, and when you call something long or short or coarse or fine or pure or impure, then you say, is that so? You think, oh, this is really disgusting. Is that so? It might be disgusting to me, but those flies are really enjoying it. We used to have lots and lots of black flies here at Abhayagiri. They don't know where they've all gone. But
the pigs left, so the flies left.
The pigs left, so the flies left. But, so what was often very upsetting for the humans was delightful for the flies. So this is I highly encourage the development of this wisdom faculty to enable us to live with far more spaciousness and adaptability in our lives, to develop the anicca sanya, just to over and over again, hundreds of times a day, every time you make a judgment, to ask yourself, is that so? Oftentimes Luang Por would pick up something like this and say, is this big or small? Is this big or small? Or if it was you say, is this long or short? You say, well, if you're an ant, it's quite long. If you're an elephant, it's quite short. So, is it long or short? Depends what you compare it to. So, in recent times, I've been reflecting on this word you find in the suttas, pamanakara, which is means a maker of measurement. And the Buddha says, raga and dosa and moha, passion is a maker of measurement. Dosa, aversion, is a maker of measurement. Moha, delusion, is a maker of measurement. So that making of measurement is like a judgment. This is long. This is short. This is good. This is bad. This is delicious. This is disgusting. That those judgments, when we take them to be absolutely real, they are based on raga and dosa and moha, on greed, hatred, delusion, passion, hatred, delusion. And so when we challenge those judgments by asking, is that so? Is that a sure thing? Nia non mai? Jingla. Then it awakens that wisdom of the heart that recognizes, well, from one point of view, maybe. From another point of view, maybe not. It's just it sees through those judgments. It sees they can only be relative. And that when the heart lets go of those judgments, and just as Luang Por Chah would say, is this long or short? When the mind recognizes, oh, it's not intrinsically long or short, it's just what it is. Aha! It's exactly that aha, which is the heart which is free from that making of measurement, the raga, dosa and moha, the passion, the aversion and delusion. And even more simple than asking yourself, is that so? An even simpler practice is just the word so. This is great. So. This is awful. So. This is exactly what I wanted. So. This is exactly what I didn't want to happen. So. Now that might sound like a bit like a put down, a kind of developing a negative attitude. But if that's applied moment by moment, day by day, then it works in exactly the same way. You're opening up the natural spaciousness of your citta, and you find that the mind is less entranced, less bedazzled, less entangled, caught up, and grasping what we like, what we dislike, and what we have opinions about. So I've spoken for about half an hour now, and I would like to hand things over to Luang Por Basanno to offer some Dhamma reflections in the Thai language. So please, whatever is useful that I've said, please take it and use it. Whatever is not useful, please leave it behind.
Na mô tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Na mô tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Na mô tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namassami. Thanks. So I've been asked to say a few words in Thai, but the crowd is quite a mix, so that I will say, I'll give a couple reflections in Thai and also in English, so that it's people get a sense of what I've been saying. And I'm not going to say very much because it's been a full day, and people have had enough. I mean, how much more do you want? So คืออาจารย์อมโลได้พูดถึงคำสอนของหลวงพ่อชาแล้วก็คำสอนที่เป็นแกนของคำสั่งสอนของพระพุทธเจ้าก็เป็นสิ่งที่จำเป็นที่พวกเราซึ่งเป็นชาวพุทธควรจะพิจารณานำเข้ามาใช้ในชีวิตประจำวันของเราจริงๆคือเรียกว่าอนิจจสัญญาระลึกถึงความเปลี่ยนแปลงระลึกถึงความไม่เที่ยงระลึกถึงอย่างที่หลวงพ่อชาว่าระลึกถึงความไม่แน่ตัวนี้ตัวสำคัญเพราะว่าจิตใจของเราชอบหลง มันเป็นลักษณะธรรมชาติของจิตใจเรามันชอบหลงชอบยึดไว้ในความรู้สึกในความเพราะว่าถ้าเราไม่ได้ยึดไว้ในความรู้สึกของเราถึงจะเป็นทุกข์อยู่ไม่รู้ว่าเราเป็นอะไร มันน่าสังเวชไหม แต่มันก็เป็นลักษณะธรรมชาตินะ ที่เราต้องเห็นชัดเจนนะเพื่อได้เราคือมันมีเราต้องให้กำลังใจกับตัวเองในลักษณะละไม่เป็นพิษเป็นภัยเป็นอันตรายต่อเราเพราะว่าบางครั้งความรู้สึกว่าถ้าเราไม่ได้ยึดไว้ในอารมณ์เช่นเราต้องเป็นคนที่มีความเหมือนกับเป็นคนมั่นใจมั่นคงเป็นคนตรงไปตรงมาเราเมื่อเป็นอย่างนี้มันก็มันถึงอย่างว่าเราชอบมีความเห็นแต่มันทำให้ชีวิตไม่ค่อยราบรื่นเลยทำให้มีอุปสรรคอยู่เสมอเลยการอย่างที่พระพุทธเจ้า สอนที่เป็นแกนแล้วท่านเองก็ได้ถูกถามว่าอะไรเป็นแกนของคำสั่งสอนและแกนของการปฏิบัติของแนวทางของท่านพระพุทธเจ้าสรุปให้4 คำเท่านั้นสัพเพธัมมานาลังอภินิเวสายะทำทั้งหลายทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างไม่ควรยึดมั่นถือมั่นเท่านั้นไม่ควรยึดไว้ในอะไรทั้งสิ้นนะว่าจะเป็นเรื่องพอใจก็ดีเป็นเรื่องความไม่พอใจก็ดีเป็นเรื่องที่ถึงจะถูกยึดไว้มันก็เหมือนกับหลวงพ่อชาท่านก็จะถูกอยู่แต่มันไม่จริง หรือจริงอยู่แต่มันไม่ถูกเป็นเรื่องที่เราต้องพิจารณาแล้วรู้จักการปล่อยรู้จักการวางคือแน่นอนเราต้องมีความรู้สึกเราต้องมีสิ่งบางอย่างที่เราก็พอใจบ้างหรือไม่พอใจบ้างแต่การไม่ยึดไว้รู้เท่าทันเราก็ไม่ทำให้มันครอบงำจิตใจของเราตัวนี้ตัวสำคัญอันนี้เป็นแนวทางที่จะทำให้ชีวิตของเราราบรื่นสบายและนี่เป็นเหตุในวันยิ่งโดยเฉพาะในวันนี้เราได้มารวมกันทำหน้าที่ของชาวพุทธได้ทำบุญได้ถวายทานได้สมทานศีลกันได้มาฟังธรรมเราก็ต้องมีอะไรที่เอาไปปฏิบัติธรรมต่อไปเลยคิดแค่นี้แหละไม่ว่าภาษาบาลีสัมเพธัมมานาลังอภินิเวสายะก็ไม่ควรยึดไว้ในทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างไม่ใช่ว่าเราละเลยต่อหน้าที่ของเราแต่ว่าเราไม่ยึดไว้ว่าเราถูกเขาผิดเราต้องได้อย่างนี้ไม่ได้อย่างนั้นนะดูว่ามันสมควรไหมมันลงรอยของธรรมะถูกต้องไหมอย่างนี้มันสบายเลยฝากเอาไว้ให้เป็นข้อคิดในวันงานกฐินก็ขออนุโมทนาทุกท่านที่มารวมกันในงานนี้ So I gave a short reflection in Thai, and there's still a lot of English speakers sitting here, so I'll give a sense of what I said. You know, oftentimes when I say something, it just comes out of my mouth and it's gone, and so there's no guarantee of an accurate rendition of what I actually said, but just reflecting on like today we've had the wonderful occasion of coming together in a Kathina ceremony, and it's been a beautiful day. The weather's been great, and people have been very gracious and generous and harmonious. So just the ambience and atmosphere has been really delightful. And what do we do to not just leave it here, but what do we take back with us? And that's an important element of what do we take back. So I just thinking in terms of the reflections and that Ajahn Amaro was giving, and that the relying on Ajahn Chah's teachings, because it's important to get to the essence, and that's one of the I would say characteristics of Ajahn Chah's teaching. Is it was really teaching what was of essence, and to the essence Of course, it can be expressed in many ways and be lived in many ways, but the sense of anicca sangha, that recollection of impermanence, and then expanding the perception that we have of impermanence, so that the impermanence in terms of is general kind of meaning and translation would be the sense of everything is impermanent, everything arises and ceases, everything changes. But then also to be reflecting on how that, as Ajahn Amaro pointed out, that sense of the not sure. That's how we feel about it. And what do we do when we feel unsure? And what can you actually feel sure about? And how much energy do we put into trying to prop up a sense of certainty in things around us, with either people or events or circumstances, or within our own minds, trying to make our own mind as if it's amenable to a force of will. It just doesn't work that way. And you have to be able to have to be able to hold the perception of holding things lightly and not clinging, not grasping, not holding on, not trying to nail things down too tightly. And that's there's a teaching that the Buddha gave. He was asked what was the essence of his teaching, what was, in brief, how would he express his teaching? And the Buddha gave a very brief explanation of just 4 words. It was Sabbe Dhamma Nalang Abhinivesaya. And it just, that meaning would be nothing whatsoever should be clung to. And so Sabbe Dhamma, that means everything. Everything should be let go of. Everything should be not held on to. And again, this doesn't mean that you don't bother with anything. You take care of things, but you're not trying to force things into a box of certainty, because that's endlessly frustrating and a source of dukkha, source of suffering. So to be able to take these teachings and use them in one's daily life, because this is where say coming to the monastery on these wonderful occasions like this, getting inspired and uplifted is great. But what do you do when you go home? So you need to carry it with you. You need to be able to take it with you. So don't make it too complicated. Don't make it too difficult. But pay attention to what the essence is. So that sense of not clinging, recognizing uncertainty, recognizing those patterns of grasping, and loosening the grip. I remember seeing this little sayings. I can't even remember where I saw it, but it said, everything that I ever let go of had claw marks on it. Just that sense. I can't let go yet. I know I need to let go, but don't make me let go now. So, to be able to look at the mind and look at your kind of circumstances, and not taking it so seriously that you create suffering, but keep seeing it clearly, keep letting go, keep relinquishing. And that's the essence. So today we've had the wonderful opportunity to come together at this Kathina ceremony, and I'd just like to again express my gratitude and appreciation to everyone who came to Sahana Motana. And also, as we wrap up, then if anybody has any time, energy, then give willingness to help out, give a hand to put stuff away, do some cleanup, get things neat and tidy for within the monastery. So, sadhu.